that pot.
Like, hey, you're live.
Oh, we're live.
Oh, thank you so much for doing this on a Sunday night live. That's great. Thank you.
Of course.
So many nice compliments from even people who don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race. They like what you give them. You know, they like seeing it in your little snide and snappy comments. So, how's it been for you guys?
It's been great. I think Angela and I, like, our whole week now revolves around like the little kiki we get to have every time we film for it, right?
Yes, it really is a highlight. I mean, because we can't film all of it. But when it's just nice because, you know, we're trapped in our full walls of our apartment a lot of the time. So it's
Fully
nice.
that.
And Sherry and I, it's just like it was a match made in heaven to be able to do on this with her. It's such a dream.
Yeah.
I'm a matchmaker.
Look at you.
Now we just got to give you $1 million, then you'll be the $1 million matchmaker.
Oh, bring it on. Come on, girls. Amber needs some coin.
Venmo Amber.
All right. So before we get into this week's RuPaul, so Sherry, you had an event today, a live event.
I did. Yeah. For the first time since COVID was a thing, I had a brunch, which was wild. Yeah, it was at a little vegan restaurant. We had 2 seatings, one at 1, one at 3. I've been in drag since 11 a.m. That's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
And I just came off of a bad allergy attack. So if I sound a little congested, I just like to think that it makes my voice a little bit more feminine.
Brenda Vaccaro. We always like the Brenda Vaccaro sound. Yes. Yeah. So is this a regularly scheduled event?
So it's a bi-weekly brunch now. We rotate with me and my partner Essence. We rotate with another duo of drag queens, who I'm not going to say because I'm not getting paid to say them. But we're doing it every other Sunday, which is great. It feels so cool to like do real gigs again, you know?
Oh, I envy you. So Angela, have you been on stage?
Yes, yesterday actually I just launched a new true crime trivia game. Is there an echo? Is that just me?
No, we don't hear anything, baby. You're good.
It's all good. Yeah, I host Killer Queen Trivia at a local bar in Astoria, and it's going to be a monthly game. And we did that yesterday. I feel you, Sherry. I was in drag yesterday for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, it's great to have you that you're doing that, and just be safe, make sure people wear masks and do all that kind of stuff. So that's great.
Always.
All right. So now talk about this week's RuPaul show.
So Angela, I don't know about you, this is one of my favorite challenges that the season ever does, is like the commercial like branding challenge, right?
Totally agree. I love the branding challenges.
Yes. So this week they are however many queens are left. I don't know, 7?
Yeah, 7.
It's like episode 24, so who knows? But they all had to create a commercial around a drink where you drink this drink and something great happens. And that's what the branding message was. So, Angela, for you, who were some of your strong suits for the commercials?
I mean, once again, I think Rose was great and Symone was great.
Absolutely.
Both were fantastic. I mean, Symone has such a talent for being hysterical.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought they were both great.
Yeah, it's become the norm right now, right? To see Symone on the top. But it was great to kind of see Rose shine in moments where we thought she maybe would have in previous episodes and then kind of fizzled out. She did so good. The whole like waking up with the messy makeup was very much like something I resonated with. I loved it.
And you could see she was having fun.
Yeah,
and that was
100%.
Really breaking it up and making it really fun. And I was super into it. What were the
I also thought Kandy's was funny. That's like a quick like little side note.
Kandy has just so much personality. She just brings so much out of her.
Yeah, 100%. Who did you think maybe kind of dropped the ball on the advertisements?
You know, I don't think this was Gottmik's strongest week. I think it didn't quite land. Understood what she was trying to do, but as they said, the the tone didn't quite work. And also I didn't love Olivia.
Yeah. And they're both so stunning, right? And so it's so disappointing when you see queens that are so strong and you know and you're like cheering for them. It's so upsetting to see them kind of like not have a great week, right? Especially for me, Gottmik.
I agree.
For those of y'all that have been watching, you know we love Gottmik. So the commercials were great overall, very fun, and then we had the runway.
Yeah,
and the runway was beast.
Which, can you imagine how hot it must have been on that runway? Most of these queens were covered in head-to-toe fur on a runway, covered in lights. Or
latex in Kandy's case. Yeah.
Yeah,
can you imagine how hot?
Talk about that.
Right. Can you imagine how hot Symone must have been? Like, she was in like full like furry convention, like Crash Bandicoot's girlfriend, like work in the street moments, right? Like,
it reminded me of, did you watch that show Drawn Together? That was on So there was a character.
Amber did.
Foxy Love, I want to say, was the character's name, and it reminded me.
So yes.
And it reminded me so much of that. She's gonna have a lot of furry fans after that.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. She's going to get all the furry nudes on social media, and I can't wait for her. That's going to be so fucking fun.
Yes, the next echelon.
Who are some other favorites for you? Right. Who are some other favorites for you for the runway?
I loved Rosé's runway. Yeah. I loved this look. It reminded me of that evil character, him from the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, I thought it was gorgeous from head to toe. I absolutely loved it.
For sure. Yeah, I would say my top three for the runway alone were Symone, Rosé, and then I did really like Gottmik's runway, even though I hated her commercial, but I mean, come on. She's like the purple, like giant purple people eater, like, except she has two eyes, but it's great.
I loved this look too. I know. And that was, I think going into like who our bottoms were for this week, I think that runway really saved her.
For sure. Yeah. Angela and I love a bottom, but it definitely wasn't Gottmik. So, so who were our bottoms this week, Angela?
This week, our bottoms were Tina and Utica, and they had to lip sync against each other. And I mean, yeah, it was a tough week for Tina, but I actually really loved Utica's runway. I thought this was
I kind of loved both their runways. I mean, I didn't like Tina's makeup because Lord knows that didn't work, but the outfit was very resemblant rather of like horror video games and like weird, scary, like ghost type Pokemon. Like, yeah, it had a reference point that I appreciated, you know?
Like if Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas was a Pokemon.
Absolutely. If Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas was also on Five Nights at Freddy's. That's fully this. And then I think Utica really got so much out of that duo challenge that she did with Symone a couple weeks back. Yeah. Because now she's embodying like that sex, you know? So she looked great too. Alas, they were both our bottoms this week. So we had our runway lip sync for your life. And who ended up going home?
It was not Tina's night. Tina was sent home. And I think it was the reason was because Tina was approaching it from a very standard drag performance, like high energy, house down boots. Utica was very much this character through the whole lip sync. It was this creepy kind of seductive character that she was, and they're doing My Humps.
Right.
Like they're performing My Humps and she's like a creepy ghost thing. And I'm like, I'm kind of into this.
Yeah, and you know, and I know that this lip sync was a bit controversial, right, on social media. Yeah. A lot of people thought Tina should have won, but I think what it comes down to is very much that is like, I think Tina kind of pulled out all like the tricks where she's like, I don't want to go home. I'm going to do every and anything I can. And Utica was like, okay, I'm going to get into this zone, right, and I'm going to give this little thing 100%. And I think at the end of the day, maybe she was not as high energy as Tina, but she performed the lip sync more cohesively, I would say.
Yeah, and I still want to see more what Utica has, because I have loved Utica this whole competition. I love a weird, creepy, head off in Mars kind of thinking. I love that. So
absolutely,
keep her around. I'm into it.
Yeah.
So where do you want to see the drag race go in the next couple of weeks? What are you looking forward to?
I want to make sure that more girls are going home every week, because y'all think about it. The first episode of this season was January 1st. We've had this season on for a third of the year at this point.
Well, next week they're doing a roast, that's a tough challenge. It is. That is a fight or flight kind of challenge, because there are people, it's just not a skill set for some people.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like Snatch Game, where it's like it really shows who can do it, who can't, you know?
Exactly.
But I'm just excited to keep seeing the girls like give us who they are 100%, whether they're good at it or bad at it. If they're bad at something, roll with it. Learn how to make it a stunt. And like that to me is more star quality than like you doing good at it and then kind of just, you know, whatever.
Girl, preach.
Right. Who do you pick to be the top two at the end of the season? Who is going to be the top two?
What about you, baby?
I mean, I think it's Symone and Gottmik. Done.
I would have to agree, Amber. I think it's also Symone and Gottmik. I think every week that we've met to do this review, the two of them have always been the most consistently at the top. Have you been watching? What do you think? Who are your top two?
I will not admit to anything.
Amber's like, I'm on the inside. I got the scoop. I already know who won. I'm not going to say anything.
Well, thank you very much. We'll hold you to those picks, and we look forward to your recaps every week. Thank you so much. You've added so much to Amber Live my first year, and I look forward to continuing our relationship.
Thank you so much. Happy anniversary. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers to the tea.
We get to cheers.
And this is also not coffee.
No, ma'am. Bye, Amber. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Girl, that's hot.